In 2016, the XXL class was touted as the new wave, which with artists such as Lil Uzi Vert, 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, Kodak Black, Anderson .Paak, and more, I wouldn't say that XXL was too far off. The next year in 2017, we had a play on words with Generation Next, which is to sound like Generation X in a way, basically our generation's next up artists, and this class might not have been the best, but it did give us three of hip hop's biggest stars with XXXTentacion, Playboi Carti, and A Boogie with the Hoodie. Unfortunately, everyone else in this class hasn't made the same impact as those three, but if I'm being honest, I don't believe musically sound that this is a bad class for its time in hindsight, but it's the next class I want to look at. This class feels more like a time capsule that we as a generation can always go back to and just ask, what the fuck was that? And with the motto for the class being "We got clout," it just fits the aesthetic of 2018 very well. And if I'm gonna be honest, it's not too far off either. I want to go into each member and go through how they've been doing since being on the list and get to the bottom of the 2018 XXL Freshman class. What is up? It's your boy Zio, bro, and today we're back with another video. Back-to-back upload type shit. I've been on that timing, and today we're gonna be going over the 2018 XXL Freshman class because I never see anyone talk about this class. Even though this class in today's time, some of these artists are very prevalent, and some of these, I think prevalent's the word. I think that's the word. But some of these artists are really on in today's time, and some of these artists are like off the face of earth. You don't even know where the hell are they at. They could get abducted by an alien and no one would even know where the fuck they went type shit. So let's get into the video. Let's get it started. Get your popcorn, get your fucking drink, get whatever. I got my Gatorade right here. So let's get into the video. Let's go. Regarding Wifi's Funeral, I first want to preface this by saying he was the curveball of this class, and usually XXL would give someone who doesn't have a hit but does have a buzz and the potential a spot on the cover, and they did it with 2016 class including Anderson .Paak, 2017 including Kamaya, and 2019 class including Tierra Whack. At the time of his selection, he either had the potential to really become the next Ski Mask the Slump God, even though, I mean, he was already in the same class, or he could be where he's at right now, which isn't horrible. And this doesn't necessarily mean that Wifi's Funeral fell off, because I genuinely don't even think he was even on yet to the extent that he could fall off of anything. But I do believe he was more putting his foot in the door with this magazine, which the magazine at that time was as mainstream as it got for Wifi, outside of being known for associating with X and members only. At this moment in time, he has about 753,000 monthly listeners and averages over 100k a song, but Wifi does have older hits which I feel are really replayable, especially if you were a person like me that loved that 2017 members only underground sound. So just going based off of the love for that sound and Wifi's Funeral as a person, I do believe that Wifi Funeral has a fan base that'll be there for him regardless. So I think in due time, I mean throughout time, he'll be fine. Purpp's career since the magazine has definitely been a roller coaster, and at the time of the magazine, this man had the world in his hands. Coming off the now platinum hit Audi, being the sidekick to one of the biggest names in rap at the time, Lil Pump, and having the Travis Scott co-sign with Cactus Jack, Purpp was one of those SoundCloud OGs, originally being behind the scenes producing songs for artists until he put his own foot in the game and got straight to work. In 2016 through 17, before the list, Purpp was working with artists we know till this day, such as Juicy J, Doo-Wop Kane, Lil Peep and Lil Tracy, Young Bands, PNB Rock, and of course Lil Pump. Then in the beginning of 2018, Purpp dropped a collaboration mixtape with producer Murder Beats, which is some of Purpp's best work in my opinion. But unfortunately, if you know anything about Purpp and his style of music, you just knew it could only stick around for so long. And unfortunately for Purpp, his audience just grew up, but his music stayed the same. And sure, the music is cool when you're 15 and 18, even maybe 19, but then it just gets old after a while of the same thing. And it's also hard as an artist to have longevity in the industry. Of one, you can't keep your main audience, and two, if you can't capture the new generation's attention to listen to your music. And at this point in time, though Purpp has over 1 million monthly listeners, he's struggling to even sell half the tickets for his concerts. But I will say, festivals do book him, and when he performs, people do vibe out and get turned. And after checking for his last single, which was in collaboration with another artist on this list, being YBN Nahmir, the song is sitting at 46K after 2 weeks, which I believe tells you everything you need to know. And I also wanted to add how his profile picture on Spotify is a picture promoting an EP that he dropped 3 years ago, which is just funny to me that he hasn't changed it to this day. I actually was surprised BlocBoy JB had more streams than Purpp, but I completely forgot about Look Alive with Drake, that actually at this time of recording is nearing 1 billion streams on Spotify, which means it definitely hit over 1 billion overall, including other streaming platforms. So good for BlocBoy, but that's really where it all goes down. Honestly, since the release of Look Alive, BlocBoy JB career started on top and just constantly went down further and further, until the point he's not a topic in the music at all, and doesn't get paid attention to nearly as he did just 6 years ago. I usually only see him posted on pages like Academics or Rap TV whenever he says something like controversial, or some on his Instagram story. But as far as music, he does still have 2.5 million monthly listeners, which is impressive in my opinion, at least because as far as dropping music, he hasn't released a new song on all platforms in over 2 years, which for an artist like Kendrick Lamar or some shit, that would probably kind of make sense. But BlocBoy JB, I don't know who on your team is telling you to stop dropping music. I don't know if you're going a Blueface route where you don't even really need to drop music and you got other stuff going on. But my guy, you need to drop some music, bruh. Cause I don't know how long Look Alive can keep your numbers looking like 2 mil. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cause look, as cool as Look Alive is, that song is played the hell out. And I ain't bumping no Look Alive anytime soon. But I ain't gonna lie, BlocBoy JB does have some bangers. I ain't gonna lie, he does have some bangers. So I will put some respect on BlocBoy JB name. If you know anything about YBN Nahmir in modern times, you know he is an absolute meme and joke of an artist. After this list, Nahmir has took constant L's after L's, losing his group mates. He lost his girlfriend that he basically put all his career focus into like a dummy. His music quality started going down after trying to make West Coast music. He took way too long to drop his debut album, and when he did, it completely flopped and sold a reported 4K first week, also including the infamous song Soul Train that completely, no pun intended, but derailed his career officially. Nowadays, you'll catch Nahmir doing a story promo or posting a Fashion Nova brand deal, beefing with Aiden Ross for money, or maybe scamming your dumbass for money. Which I find so funny because just last night I watched this video of this dude exposing Nahmir for scamming him, which I found hilarious because why are you even trying to work with YBN Nahmir? Are you a fool? Are you dumb? What is YBN Nahmir gonna offer you? A platform? He was trying to say a platform, but it's YBN Nahmir. No one is actually going to YBN Nahmir to hear new music. Are you dead ass? He deleted the post now, but I did see on his Instagram that he had a post of himself performing in front of an audience, rubbing off the paint, and they were all singing it back, which is a big ups to him because that song is old as hell and is played out. So if people are still bumping with it, that's always a great thing for an artist to eat off of a song. But yo ass still fell off. At this moment, he has 3.6 million monthly listeners, and his latest release in collaboration with Purpp, like I said, only sits at 46K streams. So I think that also has to tell you everything you need to know. Now, I'm gonna be so honest, this might be the quickest one because I never used to listen to Stefflon Don, and I to this day don't. But since being on the XXL cover, Stefflon Don has not dropped any new album, and from looking at her Instagram, she seems more like an influencer celebrity more than an artist. But I also want to mention Stefflon Don is a UK artist, and because she's overseas, I don't get the opportunity of truly understanding her popularity. But I will say there's UK artists like Central C, Dave, and Skepta that are known here in the United States. So I'm just going to quickly chop up Stefflon Don to being in a good place for herself as an entertainer. And she still has over 6 million monthly listeners, which isn't bad at all for someone who hasn't dropped an album since 2018. Plus, whenever the list was originally unveiled, and I still said it wrong, originally unveiled, I will say I remember her at the time receiving a lot of "who?" reactions from people. Now I'm gonna be absolutely honest, in middle school I did unironically bump the fuck out of Lil Pump and thought he was one of the most poppin' rappers at that time. Nowadays, 6 years later, the only reason I can possibly see Lil Pump having 7 million monthly listeners is because of Gucci Gang, D-Rose, and basically all of his SoundCloud era hits. As of recent, Lil Pump is as relevant as my ass. He tried having that TikTok comeback where he kind of played into the fall off narrative, even trying to capitalize off of the sudden resurgence he gained by naming his latest album Lil Pump 2, which was an absolute flop. Talk about Lil Dump 2, this was full of stankers from the opening track to the last seconds of the outro. And nowadays, Lil Pump is trying his hardest to suck off Trump like a leech, praying that he wins the election so that he can carry him for another 4 years. I will say though that the Lil Pump 2 cover is hard with the LP2 out of his dreads and shit. That is tough, I ain't gonna lie. Anyone who knows already understands why Ski Mask is where he's at in his career, with the unfortunate passing of his best friends X and Juice WRLD back to back, and the conflicts within the group members only, which Ski thought of as family at one moment. It was obviously hard to return to the studio, being consistent releasing music. And yes, releasing music is his job, and being a rapper is his job. But when you have hits like Ski Mask has his, you'll never need to drop another album, mixtape, EP, or song. As long as you financially responsible, you can make all the money earned last. And as long as people from that 2015 through 17 SoundCloud era exist, Ski Mask will be a-okay. Sure, his Sin City tape was very mixed in reviews, but I do believe Ski Mask still has it in him. If anybody knows Ski Mask, you know his tapes and albums aren't constructed the best, but he'll always have bangers on each one. So his next album I do expect to hit, I can't lie. Trippie Redd has been going strong for about 7 years now since the blow up of his hit Love Scars in 2017, which is actually crazy to say now that I'm thinking, because back then nobody outside of SoundCloud and emo preteens thought Trippie Redd would last. At the time, Trippie Redd was actually considered for a Lil Uzi Vert clone, which is hilarious because nowadays he's considered as a Playboi Carti clone, which is even funnier because if you go into the description of the Love Scars music video, you'll see it says that he was co-signed by Playboi Carti. And since the rise of Trippie Redd's career, he's dropped some really good bodies of work and some real stinkers. He's not the most consistent artist, and some of his songs are really bad, but the songs that are good are really good. And I genuinely believe when Trippie was at his peak, he was the best artist in this class. Nowadays his stock has started to plummet as of late, and with the dropping of lackluster music, many people believe he's fallen off, but honestly he's actually thriving, and he's sitting at a steady 24 million monthly listeners, which is some of the best numbers in his career. And he's actually ranked second monthly listener wise in the whole class, only being 6 million plays behind an artist that no one in this era would have ever thought made it this far besides me. JID, aka Jid. I just want to make it clear, as a Jermaine Lamar Cole fan and a big Dreamville fan, I always thought JID was the best rapper in his class. But in this era of SoundCloud dying out, no one really knew JID outside of being signed to J. Cole, and all they knew was Jid was that lyrical, spiritual, miracle ass nigga. And I believe, in my opinion, after his cypher with Ski Mask, people did start paying attention more. And sure, it wasn't sudden, but further down the line, I don't know what J. Cole did, but Jid started going crazy in the 2020s. And with the huge success of the song Enemy by the Imagine Dragons featuring Jid for the hit Netflix series Arcane, Jid automatically shot up in popularity, and since being on that song, he hasn't gone under 19 million monthly listeners, and at this point in time, he's actually sitting at a comfortable 30.9 million monthly listeners, which is insane because he's only 12 million listeners down from his predecessor, J. Cole. I do believe Jid is here to stay, and with the release of his well-received album The Forever Story in 2022, I don't think anyone in his class is stepping anywhere near Jid. And that's basically the video. I went from each artist, basically ranked off of however many monthly listeners they had, and I'm sure some of y'all are shocked because I didn't think Purpp would be second to last. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm low-key a hater. I thought Stefflon Don was gonna be lower down, but she actually wasn't doing that bad. There was people doing way worse than her, and she's low-key close to Lil Pump, which Lil Pump has way bigger hits. So it just shows you artists that you think are the shit today can really just fall off at any moment, and artists that you think aren't a nobody or they're just they could be the next biggest thing. Cause who really expected Jid to be having 30.9 million monthly listeners at that time in 2018? Not a lot of people, unless you were a fan of him. And I ain't gonna lie, I already knew Lil Pump, Purpp, all them niggas, like, longevity wise was fried from the beginning. They were cooked, especially when they was doing the fuck J. Cole shit. Yeah, alright, buddy. But y'all let me think, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I want to hear y'all opinion. I know this is a longer video, but okay, I don't give a damn. You gonna watch this shit because you probably interested in the 2018 class. So y'all join my Discord, y'all leave a like, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 4K by the end of the week, so let's keep going crazy. I'm gonna have a new video for y'all tomorrow. I promise. I'm gonna have a new video tomorrow. I love y'all. Stay cool. Soldier out.
It's been up to me. So I'm done letting show me back. Okay, niggas act like I won't succeed. Okay. Ain't no nigga gon' do shit for me. Only thing that I see is my goal.